start. Well, students, good evening to all of you. So today we are going to discuss the topic synopsis. How we have to write the synopsis, right? So guys, first we will understand what is synopsis, right? So, okay, many students have joined. Synopsis or research synopsis is the plan for your research project. Okay, whatever the project you are going to submit, right, in your MEd or PhD, before that you are supposed to submit the synopsis. What is synopsis? Synopsis is the plan for your research project. It provides the basis for your research, for your study, the research objectives, the research methods, proposed methods for data collection and recording formats and or questionnaires and interview guides, right? If we have to understand in a one line what is the meaning of a synopsis, then a synopsis is a summary that gives audience an idea of what a composition is about, right guys? You know, in a MEd classes or PhD classes, you are doing the MEd, you are supposed to submit the one dissertations at the end of your course. But before, you are supposed to submit the synopsis. Synopsis will, it is a plan for your research project, right? You have to get the approval first, right? Now see the important lines. Okay, I have written on the important. Before starting to work on thesis or dissertation, the students are required to send a synopsis to the university or the college to get it approval, right? The synopsis is a brief outline of your study, right guys? So now, moreover, a synopsis is an in-depth summary that includes the following elements. Okay, an overview of the problem or questions you are addressing. Next, a detailed description of how you plan to address this question or solve this problem. Next, a clear statement of what evidence supports your claim and how you will use this evidence to support your claim. And last, a discussion about how well known and accepted methods can be used as a part of this work, right guys? So now I conclude about the synopsis. What is a synopsis? Synopsis is a brief description of your study, right? Before starting the research study, before starting the dissertation or thesis, you have to make a synopsis of it 10 or 12 pages, right? Okay, then this synopsis you have to submit to the university or college to get it approval first, right guys? In today's lecture, we will understand what are the steps of making the synopsis one after the other, right guys? This is the important one, right? These are the steps of writing the synopsis. Okay, these all the steps you have to remember. It should be on your fingertips. Okay, once you will come to know about the meaning of all the points, now guys, you can understand the meaning of a synopsis, meaning of a research, and you can start writing of the synopsis as well as dissertations. Okay, now we discuss what are the steps for writing the synopsis. The number one, title. The number second, introduction. Number third, review of related literature, right? Number four, objectives of your study. The next, hypothesis of the study. Next is research methodology. Under this, we will understand which research methodology we are using, right? Like sample size, okay? And all the methods, data collections methods, okay? So we make, each and everything before starting the dissertation. Then seventh point is delimitations of the study and then references, right guys? So I start one after the other. Okay, all the 8 points, we will discuss the meaning of all the 8 points. Then I have given the example so that you will understand the concept of synopsis in a very well way. So number first, I start with the title. What is title basically? So guys, whatever the title, you have to specify. Title should be brief and self-explanatory. Okay, it should relate directly to the main objective of the proposed research. See the example of the title: Study of Emotional Intelligence of Adolescents in Relations to Creativity. Okay, see this topic, and carefully, okay, you have to note in your topic in whole of the lecture, because every point I am explaining, okay, and I am giving the example of every point, keeping in view that this topic, right? So what is the topic? Yeah, what is the title? The study of emotional intelligence of adolescents in relations to creativity. Okay, now you can see that what is the meaning of a title? Title means title should be brief and self-explanatory, right? Now you can see that. Okay, well, you don't have to make the title so big, right? It should be brief and self-explanatory. Anybody can read the title, will understand that. Okay, yaar, what is the problem of study? What is the problem? What is the research the researcher is going to start, right? This is a title. Number second, introduction. Okay, the next point is the introductions. What you have to write under the introduction. Okay, under the introductions, guys, you have to introduce the main problem. Okay, for example, the main subject area, yeah, variables are emotional intelligence and creativity. Okay, you can see the title. Okay, I go to the previous slide. Okay, see the title: Study of Emotional Intelligence of Adolescents in Relations to Creativity, right? So now you are using the two variables. What are the name of variables? The number one is emotional intelligence and second is creativity. You want to study on the adolescents. Okay, now when you are making the synopsis, under the heading of introductions, what you have to write? Guys, first of all, you have to justify your statement, why you have chosen this topic. Okay, why particularly you have taken the adolescents. Okay, you can do the study on the adult also, right? So you have to, number one, you have to justify your title, right? Under the introductions part, what you have to write. Number second, why you have chosen this topic. What is the purpose of that? Why you have chosen? Okay, you have to write under the introduction. Then why these variables are important? There are so many other variables like academic achievement, locus of control of the student, right? Aptitude of the student, attitude of the student. Anna, there are so many variables. Why you have chosen these two particular variables? You have to write under the part of introduction. You have to justify your variable. You have to justify your title. Why you are doing the study on this. Right? Next, why adolescents? You can take the example of adult also, right? Okay, so why you have chosen only the adolescents? Then guys, you have to talk about the significance of your study. Okay, this study you are going to work on it. What is your study? The title, remember the title: a study of emotional intelligence among adolescents in relations to creativity. Okay, you have to write the significance of your study. What is the significance of your study? Because whole of the 2 years you are going to work on a particular that topic. After doing the study, what would be the significance, conclusion of your study? What is the scope of your study? You have to write under the part of introduction. Okay, so this is the second step. Okay, the third step is review of related literature. Okay, okay, I move to the first slide so that you can see the steps, right? We are doing these 8 steps of writing the synopsis. Okay, the title, introduction, review of related literature, objectives of your study, hypothesis of your study, research methodology, delimitation of your study, and references. Okay. So guys, these 8 steps you have to keep in your mind, and you have to start the synopsis after my lecture. Right, guys? Easily you can make it. Okay. And after that, you have to work on the dissertations. Okay. 2 points we are done. Title, you have to take the title. Title should be brief and self-explanatory. Okay, like I have taken study of emotional intelligence of adolescent in relations to creativity, right? Second, introduction. Under the topic of introductions, you have to justify your study, justify your variables, justify your why you have taken on the adolescent. You have to write the significance of your study and scope of your study. Now we are doing the third part. The third point is review of related literature. Okay. So guys, first you understand what is the meaning of that. Okay. Then how we have to write, under the review of related literature, what we have to write under the review of related literature. First, you understand the meaning of this. Okay. The purpose of literature review is to gain an understanding of the existing research relevant to a particular topic, study, or problem. Okay. You have chosen this topic, emotional intelligence and creativity of adolescent. Okay. So guys, you have to, study related to your topic in some of your books, magazines, internet. Okay. There can be many ways by which you can collect the reviews. Okay. These reviews support your topic, right? So the purpose of literature review is to gain an understanding of the existing research relevant to a particular topic, study, or problem, and to present that knowledge in the form of a written report. It may be used as background or context for a primary research project. Okay. Now we understand there are several reasons to review the literature. Okay. What are the reasons? Number one, the first is build your knowledge in your field. Next, learn about the information source and the research methodologies. Next, find gaps in the literature that can become research question. This is important. The third line is that. I repeat the third line. Okay. Carefully, give attention to the third line. Find gaps in the literature that can become research questions. So guys, when you are finding, these kind of studies, emotional intelligence and creativity of, adolescents, you find some of the gaps. Okay. So these gaps will become your research questions. You can study on that, right? Because this is a research. What is the meaning of a research? You can break the word of research, R-E plus S-E-A-R-C-H, research. Okay. Means whatever is done, whatever we have searched, we are going to research. Again, we are searching that because some are the gaps. Right, guys? So guys, whatever you are looking with your open eyes, these are the product of the research. Now you are using the iPhone 14. This is a, due to the research. You are looking a new car. This is a due to the research. So each and everything has come into existence with a more good way. This is the only due to the research. That's why we do the research, right? So next, what are the several reasons to review the related literature? Evaluate method, identify errors to avoid, and highlight the strength, weaknesses, and controversies in the field of study. Okay, you will come to know beforehand till you didn't start your dissertation. Okay, what you are doing? You are writing the synopsis. So before starting the dissertation, big dissertation, okay, thick dissertation, you will come to know that, okay, what are the controversies, what are the weaknesses, what are the strengths that are associated with your topic. Okay, so that, it will give you the, clear view in your mind before starting your dissertation. Okay, so this is a synopsis you are writing. Okay, the third step is literature review. Although, what are the purpose of a literature review? Number one, it provides foundations of knowledge on the topic. Right? Next, identify areas of prior scholarship to prevent duplications and to give credit to other researchers. Right? Next is identify inconsistencies. Guys, this is the important which I have underlined. This is the most important. Even I have written most important. When I was making the slide, I have written the most important. Okay. You should know the power of literature review. The third point of the synopsis, review of literature, review of related literature. You should know that. Why? There is a need of the review of related literature. The point is identify inconsistencies, means what are the gaps in research, conflicts in previous studies, open questions left from other research. Okay. So when you read any of the article, any of the research related to your study, you will come to know that what are the gaps, what are the conflicts, and then you start study on these particular gaps. Okay. So you can also say in a simple word, what is the meaning of a review of related literature? Means the one researcher, okay, malab you cannot say that na, this is our topic, a study of emotional intelligence of adolescents in relations to creativity. Right, guys? You can't say na you are the first person, you are working on that problem. Okay. There are so many persons in the world, they have already worked on that particular topic. Okay. But what is your purpose? Your purpose is that wherever they have left, you have to start from there. Okay. So review of related literature helps you. Whatever they have left, you have to start from there. Okay. You don't have to copy. Okay. Whatever they have left, you have to see the gaps, you have to see the conflicts, you have to see the what are the problems, you have to see the what are the points the previous researcher they didn't touch. Okay. You have to start from he has left. Right, guys? Next purpose of literature review, identify need for additional research, identify the relationship of works in context of its contributions to the topic and to other work, and place your own research within the context of existing literature, making a case for why further study is needed. Okay. So all the things you will come to know when you start studying the review of related literature. Right, guys? So the fourth step is objectives of study or research. What are your objectives? Okay. Research objectives are the outcomes that you aim to achieve by conducting research. Read this line once again. Right? The fourth point, you are going to, you have to go to write the synopsis. Okay. You are doing these steps of the synopsis. The fourth point is objectives. Okay. Right? Whenever you have to write the objective, so research objectives, you must understand first what is the meaning of research objectives. Right? Your topic is study of emotional intelligence of adolescents in relations to creativity. Okay, guys. So then, guys, naturally you will make some of the objectives on which you have to work. So first you have to understand what are objectives. Objectives are the outcomes that you aim to achieve by conducting research. After 2 years, okay, when you will finish your dissertation, your study, right, guys? So you should know that these research objectives I have covered. Okay, but you have to mention beforehand, right? Many research studies contain more than one research objectives. Identify your research objective is crucial to conducting a successful research study or project. Right, guys? Although research objectives also help you narrow in on the focus of your research and key variables guiding you through the research processes. As well, creating strong research objectives can help your organization or your study achieve its overall goal, right? Okay, guys. Now you have to take care of three simple steps. Okay. When you are defining objectives, so three simple steps you have to keep in your mind, right? Under the point 4. The first step is pinpoint the major focus of your research, right? What is the meaning of that? In this step, make sure to clearly describe what you aim to achieve through your research. You can identify a research focus by reading through your literature and finding gaps in existing research. Once you find a gap that you can fill through your research study or project. Okay. Number 1 is pinpoint the major focus of your research. Okay. The second is break down your research focus into research objectives. Okay. The second step talks about once you know the primary goal of your research project, you can break it down into a smaller steps and separate objectives. You can choose one general objective as well as few other specific narrow objectives. In the general objectives, state in a broad sense what you aim to achieve through your research, and in the specific objective, you have to describe the specific goals. The third is write your research objective in the SMART format. Okay, I will, after this slide, I will give you the example of the research objectives. Okay, I have made on this topic, right, guys? So these things you have to understand first. The third is write your research objective in the SMART format. Means see these all, four things, right? Number 1 is specific, achievable, relevant, time-based. So these 4 things you have to come in your mind under the topic 3rd, right? What is the meaning of a specific? It means be specific about your desired outcome. Your objectives should be clearly written and leave no room for confusion. This can help you keep them narrow and focused. Then achievable. Be sure to create objectives that you can realistically achieve to help you avoid getting overwhelmed by unrealistic expectations. So guys, I have, seen many PhD scholars, they have left their study, in the middle. Okay, after a 1 year, after a 1.5 year, because when, they have the, wish, they want to clear the, MEd and they want to clear the PhD. Okay. But okay, after a 1 year and 1.5 years, they have they have come to know that problems in the research work, because okay, they didn't follow these all the steps before starting the project. Relevant. Make your objective relevant to your research and your overall goals. This can help you stay motivated on the track throughout your research project. And next is time-based. You can establish deadlines to help you keep your research process on track. You can set a major deadline for your entire project as well as smaller deadlines for each objective. Okay. So, it was a, more theory, but guys, this is trust me, this is a really very important. Okay. Otherwise, sometimes, what happens, due to the wish, we start, taking in, doing the, PhD, doing the thesis work, project work. Okay. What happens after a 6 month or after a 1 year, we leave in the middle. So what happens? There is a, wastage of a time, energy, and money as well. So guys, these all are what I'm discussing in today's lecture. This is a research methodology. Okay. You have to understand first, right? Now, dekho, I have given you example of the point number 4, right? What was our title, guys? Right? In the starting of the first slide, Hana, I tell you, right? Keep in your mind this topic so that I'm explaining all the 8 points with the help of this example, right? So what was our topic? study of emotional intelligence of adolescents in relations to creativity. Okay, so now guys, I have made these 4 objectives, okay, so that you will come to know that, meaning of objective point more clear. Number 1, my first objective is to study the emotional intelligence and creativity among adolescents, right? Okay. Number 2, to study the difference of emotional intelligence and creativity between boys and girls. Okay. What was my first step? My first steps is giving me the overall view, overall view of adolescents, of emotional intelligence and creativity, right? Then second step is giving me the, specific objective. Okay. Although I'm getting the knowledge of how much knowledge of emotional intelligence and creativity boys have as well as girls have. Okay. See the point, the point is, ye dekho, number 2, 3 steps of identify your research objectives. The second point is, okay, just I have finished. Break down your research focus into research objectives. Once you know the primary goal of your research project, you can break it down into a smaller steps and separate objectives. You can choose one general objective as well as few other specific narrow objectives, right? Now you can see in the example, one general objective, okay, from my study, when I will complete my dissertations, so I will come to know that about the knowledge of emotional intelligence and creativity among adolescents, right? General view I will come to know. The second, specific view I will come to know that, okay, even girls or boys, okay, matlab kaun sa persons, even girls or boys having the more creativity as well as emotional intelligence, right? Third, see my third objectives, okay, to study the relationship between emotional intelligence and creativity among adolescents. Okay, now I have further break down my objectives. Guys, these all things you have to do, right? Just understand this. Third thing is that I have break down my, objectives. Now I want to check that relationship of emotional intelligence with creativity. Okay, well, I want to see that if the adolescents having the more emotional intelligence, or if the adolescents having the creativity, more creativity, does it affect on the emotional intelligence or not, and vice versa. And I will come to know that. And fourth is to study the relationship of emotional intelligence and creativity between boys and girls. Okay, so guys, see the topic. My topic was study of emotional intelligence of adolescents in relations to creativity. Okay, in a simple sense, we understand this was my topic, right? So title I have cleared. My second step is the introduction. Under the introductions, I have introduced my problem, why I have chosen this topic, why I have taken these variables, okay, why I have taken the adolescents, right? Number third, review of related literature. Okay, so I have also read the related literatures to get the, more understanding. Even these all the literature will help my study. Even I have come to know that, right, where the other researcher have left, right? And second, under the fourth point, I have made the objectives. These 4 objectives I have made. Now up you can see that, my path is going to be more smoother. Okay, the moment all the points are clearing to me, right, my whole path is going to be more smoother. Now I have come to know that these 4 objectives I have to do, rest of my time. Okay, next step is 5 hypothesis of, what is a hypothesis? Hypothesis of the study or research. So guys, first understand the meaning of a hypothesis. Hypothesis क्या चीज होती हैं? Hypotheses are the prediction of the outcome from the study. A research hypothesis is a specific, clear, and testable proposition or predictive statement about the possible outcome of a scientific increase study. Means what is a hypothesis? Hypothesis is any supposition, any proposition, any predictive statement. Okay. So an index or explanation for something that is based on known facts but has not yet been approved, right? What is a hypothesis? Hypothesis क्या चीज होती है? Hypothesis is any supposition, any, you can say that, assumption. Hypothesis is any predictive statement but not yet been proved. Okay, so ye bhi we make in the synopsis before starting the dissertation. Okay, so we understand more about the hypothesis. In other words, hypothesis is a statement that provides an explanation for why or how something works based on facts, but that has not yet been specifically tested. Guys, I have given the example. Okay, with the help of an example, you will understand the meaning of a hypothesis and what is the importance of a hypothesis, and you will come to know that why we make the hypothesis in the synopsis or in the dissertation before starting the work. Okay, one example I have given. A hypothesis might look like something like this. Sleep impacts academic performance. Okay, so I have given a one statement. Sleep impact the academic performance. It is a loose statement, supposition, assumption, but is not proved. I don't have any evidence now. I don't have any evidence whether the sleep impacts on the academic performance on the student or not. So guys, when I start my study, I collect the data of the student, I interpret the data, right? Then I get the conclusion. Then I can say that whether sleep impacts on academic performance of student or not, right? But we have to make the hypothesis first in the synopsis. Okay, so you can say that what was our title? Our title or our topic was study of emotional intelligence of adolescents in relations to creativity, right guys? Then I have made the 4 hypotheses. What are my hypotheses? So abhi jo study, I didn't start my study. Okay, I didn't take the sample. I'm just referencing. I'm just giving in the synopsis. This thing I will do that. Okay, and I have made the hypothesis beforehand. Okay, what are my hypotheses? Number 1, there exists an average level of emotional intelligence and creativity among adolescents. Right? Matlab, I'm thinking beforehand. There is an average level of emotional intelligence and creativity among adolescents. Second is that there exists a significant difference of emotional intelligence and creativity between boys and girls. Second hypothesis, hypothesis means supposition, assumption. I make it. If there is a difference actually in the emotional intelligence and creativity between boys and girls. My third hypothesis is that there exists significant relationship of emotional intelligence and creativity among adolescents. Means I'm before starting my study, I'm predictive statement is that my hypothesis is that if there is a significant relationship. Matlab, I accept that if there is a relationship, but yet not proved. Okay, when I will do the study, I will write the thesis or dissertation, right? Collecting the data, interpreting the result, and in the conclusion, after that, after a 1 year, when I will complete my studies, after 6 months, when I'll complete my study, then I will come to know that whatever the hypothesis I have written beforehand, whether they are proved or not. Okay, statistically, guys, we talk whether they are accepted or rejected. Okay, and fourth hypothesis is that there exists significant relationship of emotional intelligence and creativity between boys and girls. Right now, 5 steps we are done. Number 1, title we have defined. Number 2, introductions we have defined. Number 3, review of related literatures we are done. Number 4, objectives we have understood. Okay, and number 5 is hypothesis. we have understood, and we have made the hypothesis. Okay, keeping in view that our statement, our study, what is our study? Study of emotional intelligence of adolescents in relations to creativity. Okay, now what is the sixth step? Sixth step is the research methodology, I think. Okay, now we first of all we have to understand what is the research methodology, and okay, what are the steps we have to write under the research methodology. Okay, so guys, first we understand what is a RM. RM means research methodology. Guys, you know that na, before doing any of the PhD, now there are a 6 month, you can say that, coursework. Okay, under these coursework you will come to know that these all research methodologies. Okay, then you start the thesis. Similarly in the med class, right, you are doing the med, you have seen that in your syllabus in a first semester. Okay, what are RM and others, right? Now you are in this semester, you have to start your dissertations work, right? Now what is the research methodology? Research methodology is basically a research study or a project follow an overall methodology to make conclusions in relations to an overall objective. As well, research methodology is a way, I have underlined, please see it. A research methodology is a way of explaining how a researcher intends to carry out their research. It is a logical, systematic plan to resolve a research problem. A methodology details a researcher's approach to the research to ensure reliable, valid result that address their aims and objectives. As well, research methodology also provides a detailed plan that helps to keep researcher on track, making the process smooth, effective, and manageable. So guys, you have to keep in your mind, okay, whatever your thesis, even in the med or in the PhD, okay, first thing is that you have to make the synopsis, and under the synopsis you have to write mentions all the points. And here under the synopsis on the 6th point, research methodology, you define your strategy. Okay, sir, because this synopsis you are going to send to the college or university to get it approval. Okay, you will tell them, you will convince them, sir, this would be my sample, this would be my tools, this would be my strategy, okay, for this particular study. What is the study? A study of emotional intelligence of adolescents in relations to creativity. Got the point? Moreover, okay, the last time you can see that research methodology includes or encompasses what data they are going to collect and where from, as well as how it is being collected and analyzed. Right, guys? In the next slide, we understand what are the factors to consider when choosing a research methodology. Okay, so whenever you have to write the synopsis, okay, these all things, it should be clear in your mind. Okay, so guys, you should know, you should be aware of these factors, okay, when choosing a research methodology. Okay, and the number one, research objective. We are done the research objective in the 4th point, right? We have come to know that overall research objective, and we have come to know specific research objective, right? We don't have to go beyond these objectives. We have fixed our research objectives. Now sample size, this is important. Okay, adolescents कौन होते हैं? Who are the adolescents? Our participants are, respondents are, adolescents from the 13 to 19, age. So here we have to define which adolescents we have to take, either a class 9 or class 10. Okay, malab, this is a sample size. And as well as we have to mention here which scale or questionnaire we are going to use. Okay, so first of all, guys, you are going to assess the emotional intelligence and creativity of adolescents. Okay, so guys, there should be a tool in your hand in order to assess the emotional intelligence or creativity. So guys, you have to search on the internet, on the libraries, okay, the particular research questionnaire or tools or scale, you can say that. Okay, you have to mention in the synopsis, as well as you have to mention what are the statistical tools like mean, median, mode, standard deviations, correlations, regressions, Hana, you are going to use, right? You know that now, if you have the knowledge of, statistics, so you will come to know that, okay, your fourth research objective was to see the relationship. So when the relationship comes, so then you use the correlations and regression, right, guys? So everything you have to mention under the sixth point, research methodology, right, guys? Number seventh, the seventh point is delimitation of the study. This is the most important, guys. Now you have to delimit your study, okay? Because you don't have to go beyond this study, okay? So, most of the researcher, okay, they do this mistake, okay? Malab, they don't define these things beforehand, and later on when they start the project, so they get confused. This is the reason they, you know, leave from the PhD work or the MEd work because of the research, right, guys? So what are the delimitations? First, you have to understand the meaning of a delimitations. Delimitations means research. Delimitations means limits the study or research, right? Delimitation means limits your study or research. Delimitation of a study refers to the scope of the research aims and research questions. In other words, delimitation reflect the choices you as the researcher intentionally make in terms of what you will and you won't try to achieve with your study. In other words, your research aims and research questions will and won't include. Okay, guys, along with every point I'm giving the example so that you can understand in a better way. Okay, you can see the example, right? What was our topic? Our topic was a study of emotional intelligence of adolescents in relations to creativity, right? So guys, first, I have written the present study will be delimited to the 200 high school students only. Adolescents are the high school students, right? I have mentioned, right? As well, I have mentioned I will study on the 200 adolescents, 200 high school students, right? So now you have come to know that now adolescents. So there are so many adolescents in India, across the India, right? So I have to mention on how many adolescents I have to do my study. I have to delimit my study. Under a synopsis, I have to write. The second is the present study will be delimited to the class 10 high school students only. Now I have come to know that I will study on only to the 10th class student. Okay, not the collecting the data from the 6th class, 7th class, or +2 class. I have delimited my study. This is the meaning of a delimitation is important. Number third is my present study will be delimited to the Kurukshetra district only. I have taken randomly. I have taken. Okay, up there are so many adolescents in the in India, right? So now in India, in states, I have selected only a district, Kurukshetra district. Okay, I don't have to collect the data beyond the Kurukshetra district, yeah, beyond the this district, right? So now this is the meaning of a delimitations. Now guys, I have cleared my all the points. Okay, now we see our all the steps. One step is left, references. Okay, 8th is references. Up guys, this is the last step of the synopsis, right? So what happens? First, you have to understand references. References allows you to acknowledge the contribution of other writers and researchers in your work, right? Naturally, your study is emotional intelligence and creativity of adolescents. Okay, guys. So naturally, you will read many articles, many data, many all others, papers. So guys, you have to mention, these all things at the end. Referencing is also a way to give credit to the writers from whom you have borrowed words and ideas. Always remember, guys, it is also a research ethics. Okay, whatever you copy, even you copy 10%, 20%, or many, you have to mention it. Okay, I have taken this from this way. You have to mention, even when you have to write a book, write any thesis, dissertations, you have to write the references. Okay, references mean you are giving the credit, respect to the authors from where you have borrowed the words, borrowed the ideas. By citing the work of a particular scholar, you acknowledge and respect the intellectual property rights of the researcher. As a student or academic, now you are a student, scholar, academic, right? You can draw on any of the millions of ideas, insights, arguments published by the other writers, many of whom have spent years researching and writing. You know that when you will study on the emotional intelligence and creativity, now you will come to know that many of the persons, they have spent their whole life in the knowledge of the creativity and emotional intelligence, and you get the knowledge by clicking on one button of the internet, right guys? So guys, you have to give references, you have to mention the name, those all the persons you have taken the ideas, knowledge, references, words, you have borrowed. All you need to do is acknowledge their contributions to your assignment. Therefore, you have to be sure that you have to write the full reference, including author, publication year, title, journal, from where you have collected the data. You have to write in a particular format, right guys? Now guys, this is the end of the lectures. These all the 8 points. Okay, you have come to know that when you will start the synopsis, you have to take care of these all the 8 points. Okay, you can see that. Title you have understood. Okay, title aapka, it should be brief and self-explanatory, right? Jaise like our title is, I have taken one example now, a study of emotional intelligence of adolescents in relations to creativity. Up every person's, from the title will come to know that, okay, yaar, this is the perfect title. This is a self-explanatory and brief. Okay, second, introduction. Now, under the introductions, you have to mention why you have chosen this topic, what were the, why you have taken these variables, because other variables are, like academic achievement, locus of control. There are so many variables why you have taken emotional intelligence and creativity. Then along with that, you have to define what are the scope, significance of your study, right? Number third is a research of a review of related literature. Under this, you have to mention, okay, you have from where you have got, many materials related to your topic. Next is objectives of the study. You have to make the objective of your study. What are your objectives? Then hypothesis of your study. Okay, these are my predictive statements. Okay, then research methodology. You define your all strategy. These strategies you will use. Next, seventh is delimitations of your study. Okay, before starting the dissertations, you delimit your study. Like, example I have given. Okay, adolescents would be the high school students of the 10th class, and I will do only on the Kurukshetra district. Right? Next, references. You have to mention all the references. Okay, guys. Now, guys, I have tell you one example. Okay, sample of a synopsis on this topic. I have made it. Okay, you can see that. So these 10 or 12 pages you have to make and send as early. Now you can see that sample of synopsis. Okay, ye dekhiye guys, it is a sample of synopsis. Okay, you can see that this is your first page, a study of emotional intelligence of a high school students in relations to creativity. Okay, so then you have to write a synopsis. Okay, I can increase the font size. Now you can read easily. A synopsis submitted to, you have to mention here your university name, in partial fulfillment of the requirement of for the degree of Master of Education. Then you have to mention the session. Okay, supervisor name, investigator, you are the investigator. Under the supervisor, you have to write the name of the supervisor, under which supervisor you are doing this project with, right? This is your fourth semester dissertation. Here last you mention your college or university. Okay, so your title, ye dekho, first step, side by side we do all the 8 points. The first was the title. Ye dekho, title is cleared, right? Second is your introduction, right? So in the introduction was emotional intelligence and creativity. So guys, you can see that 1 or 2 pages you have written about the emotional intelligence and creativity. Ye dekhiye creativity. Okay, 2-3 pages you have written. Okay. Third is, justifications for your study. Under the introductions you write, you can see that. Then review of related literature. ये देखो, from that way you have to write the review of related literature. देखो, I have written, okay, see the example of one, Saberi 2000 conducted a study and declared that this one. Okay. Okay, I read once again. Saberi 2000 conducted a study and declared that increasing the emotional intelligence of a school administrators increase their creativity. Okay, तो ये persons हुए हैं, इन्होंने study conduct की in the year of 2000. So they have concluded that increasing in the emotional intelligence increases creativity. Okay. Second up, you can see Mahapatra 2000. He also conducted a study on developing creativity expressions in elementary grades through the enrichment program. Okay, so guys, you have to mention here, okay, related to your study, right? So many persons, they have, study on this topic. So, while conducting, these all the review of literatures, you have to find out the research gaps, okay, what they have left, and you have to start from there. Okay, even, when you will come to know that these are, some persons are from the China, some persons from India, some person from other different countries. Okay, so then you will come to know that in a Punjab or Haryana didn't, study on this. So then so that I can take this topic or little bit variations of the variables, you can do that, right? So this is a, a review of related literatures you have to mention here. Okay, so always, second name, surname you mentioned, right? Okay, then statement of the problem, right? Then you can see the operational definition of emotional intelligence and creativity. Okay, then objectives of your study. Ye dekho, these are the objectives. To study the emotional intelligence and creativity among high school students, to study the difference of emotional intelligence and creativity between boys and girls, to study the relationship between emotional intelligence and creativity among high school students, and study the relationship of emotional intelligence and creativity between boys and girls. Right, guys? Okay. So hypothesis of the studies, okay, we have mentioned in this slide also. Okay, this copy, this PDF, I will also send you, right? Then uske baad research methodology, you can see that. Okay, so research methodology, you can see that 200 high school student of a 10th class you mention. Okay, so when this synopsis will go to the university and the college, okay, to get it approval, so they will understand on the spot. Okay, they will give you the approval. So now, then after that, you can start your dissertation. Okay, then tool to be used, ye dekhiye, tool, guys. So you have to use the tool of emotional intelligence scale of Dr. S.K. Mangal and Mrs. Shubhra Mangal. Okay, guys. तो ये मंगल साहब हुए हैं, ठीक है, मैडम हुए हैं. They have made a tool questionnaire to assess the emotional intelligence of adolescents. है ना? You can see that. So you have mentioned creativity का tool. You have mentioned creativity test. Then statistical tool, but which you will use mean, standard deviation, t-test, and correlations and regressions. Naturally, one of your objective is the relationship, so you will use the correlations and regression. You have delimit your study, and the references. Yeah, देखो last में you give all the references. Okay, you from where you have borrowed the word, you have mentioned the word. Okay, but guys, this you have to write in your English. Okay, you don't have to copy whole of the part. Okay, so you can see that this is a synopsis or research proposal of 11 pages. Okay, so guys, you are supposed to, these are ye dekho 11, right, in a short. So this synopsis you have to make, and after that you start on the dissertation work. So around around the 100 pages dissertations work we have to write. So basically on the dissertations, next time I'll make the video. Till then you complete your synopsis work, right, guys? So I come back on the this is our last slide. Okay, guys, thank you so much for this session. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you.